see how that goes. It's alright.
So we started to get a couple of people in the room. How he's going? Just doing a little bit of mucking around on this little Melaleuca while I'm waiting for the time to tick by. I don't know if any of you saw this tree. I had the tree on the channel about a month ago. Gave it a pretty good prune, and yeah, the new growth is sort of a bit out of control, but it's good to see it bounce back that quick anyway. But I won't be mucking around with it too much tonight. The main job is to repot that other tea tree into a nice new pot. Hey, g'day mate, how you going? Good to see you can make it. How's the weather treating you down your way? Had some nice showers up this way today, it's good. The trees will bloody love it. Hot, yeah, it's been hot here too, but it's been pretty humid. We were supposed to get some good rain a day or two ago, but it sort of fizzled out a bit, so we've had a few mils each day though, which is pretty good. Probably had enough today to water the trees without me having to water them, but been thinking about what you were saying about this tree too, about putting it into maybe like a semi-cascade pot. It's put a lot of growth into this branch down here, since I pruned it, so it might be happy growing like that, so yeah, I don't know, something to think about going forward. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit so it's not drooping down quite so much. But yeah, I did prune this one back pretty hard. Just try to get a bit of separation between all these layers, but you wouldn't even know now, and that's only a month. Yeah, it's just on a month. I think it was the 21st or 22nd, I think I did it last month, so yeah, pretty cool to see how quick our natives grow, It's good stuff. But anyway, I might put that one aside, and I'll deliberate over the pot choice on that one later on. So this one, you won't see it on camera, but everywhere that I've cut it, when I pruned it the other day, it's all starting to shoot out in all new little buds everywhere. So I reckon in another 2 weeks it'll look just like that Melaleuca. I reckon it'll be out of control, which is pretty good. Just cut them off, I think. Don't know if they've really pulled those branches down much. Well, they might have set down a little bit lower, which might be alright. It's probably not too bad where they are. I was wondering if I might have to guy wire them down again, but they might not be too bad as they are. That pot's not really for that tree. This pot here, I did buy it for that Melaleuca, but it would probably suit this tree too. And given that I might go to a semi-cascade style pot, I don't really have a use for that one right now, but this is the one that I bought specifically for this tree. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera. I reckon it'll probably suit it I reckon it'll suit it pretty well. Yeah, that's the one I'm pretty set on going with for now anyway. Can always change it again later, can't we? Yeah, they are pretty good pots. I don't have a lot of money to spend on bonsai pots, but I do manage to sneak the odd one in here and there. These are both, those ones both there, Samarkand pottery, I think is how you pronounce it. That's a Bad Swan pot. I didn't know it was a Bad Swan pot when I bought it. I got it from Bonsai Island and they didn't have any information on it. I just thought it was a pretty cool pot. But I have been keeping an eye out for a Bad Swan pot because I do like this pot, so they're pretty cool. Come out all right. Which one would be your choice? The Bad Swan one, you reckon? I don't know, that's the one I reckon would suit it best anyway. A lot better than that cheap, shitty one that's in anyway. That's my thoughts anyway. I really like the look of most of the cheap pots, like they serve a purpose. And it's good to be able to pick up a few cheap here and there so you got something to put your trees in, but they don't look all that good. Looks like it's developed a lot of fine roots since it's been in this mix, which is pretty cool. When I made this mix up, I was sort of still a bit scared to go away from the organic mix. So there's a fair bit of potting mix in this one. The mix I've got mixed up at the moment has no organic matter in it. It's just, it's probably 50% scoria. It's got some zeolite, some perlite, a bit of vermiculite, and that's probably about it. So it's pretty much totally inorganic, but with the fertiliser bags on it, yeah, I don't think there'll be an issue because I've been slowly moving away from the organic, but it's taken a little while to just take all the last of that organic stuff out of the mix. Sort of always felt like it held a bit of moisture better, but I don't know, the more you read, the more you sort of think maybe that's not the case. That's just something that's in our heads, I think. And I've got automatic waterers on all these trees anyway, so they can get watered 3 or 4 times a day. It's not really an issue. I'll tell you what, they're growing a hell of a lot better with those auto waterers. Just keeping that watering more consistent, I think. And I think that'll be important as we move into summer and it gets a bit hotter, or a lot hotter. Well, hopefully not a lot hotter because it's already been hot enough. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of organic matter still in this one. So I reckon it's probably a good move to get it out of this pot and move away from that. I think that Melaleuca, the mix it's in, is mostly inorganic, and it's just loving it. But I think it's a confidence thing, you know, you've grown trees or grown plants in potting mix for so long to just go to gravel, I don't know, it scares me a little bit. But yeah, the more I do it, the more confidence I'm getting with, you know, being able to put it into that sort of mix. And I think the better the trees will be in the end. The roots are actually quite thick on this now, which is good. What do you reckon about all these weird ass looking roots around the base? I'm undecided on whether that's a feature or something I should just get rid of. I sort of settled on the way the tree is, it can just stay there, but yeah, I've never been 100% happy with it. They do look a little bit odd to me, but the dog was going to sit up here and give me a hand, but she's wimped out. She's on a bed having a nap now. Fed her dinner, she's had enough. She's out. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a heap growing up in my garden, tea trees, and I don't know that too many of them look like that, but yeah, I don't know. It does seem to be a common thing in a lot of the bonsais you see anyway. How's that look? Oh, bloody stream's like 15 seconds behind. I can't even see what it looks like by looking on the laptop. Yeah, see, I reckon that'll look way better. High side of the pot over this side, because I reckon there's a bit more weight on that side of the tree. I reckon that'll look alright. Yeah, I think that's the problem. Like, they grow okay with that organic mix, but it's such a fine line, like between too wet and too dry. And because I work away, I have to have my stuff on automatic waters, so everything ends up too wet, I feel. Whereas at least with this inorganic mix, like you say, the roots will breathe. They'll have a lot more air in them. They don't stay just soaking wet. So yeah, I think it's a good move. And every tree I've put in it so far has done really, really well. I've been surprised actually by how well all the trees have done. But I think you probably really need to be on the ball with fertilising, I think, with that sort of mix. I think that's where these fertiliser bags come into their own. So they do get a bit of something every time you water the tree. Because before that I used to just throw a handful around every so often, but you sort of forget. And then the trees go months without feeding, and I think that slowed a lot of my trees up by quite a lot. That might nearly do that, I think. Yeah, thanks Dave. They are pretty cool pots. I do like them quite a lot. I sort of don't just go out and buy a heap of pots. I just get the odd pot here and there, but I'll make sure they're pots that I do like. Yeah, it doesn't smell bad. I don't think there's any rotting going on in there anywhere. Yeah, yeah, there's no bad smells or anything. I'm not concerned about this particular tree. I just know that they do tend to stay very wet when you just have automatic waterers, because you sort of have to compensate for the tree that's going to dry out the quickest. So some poor bugger ends up staying wet, unfortunately. Something like that, I think. I don't think the tree needs to be offset too much. I think the weight of the tree being on that side sort of does enough for the offsetting. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know before I put it in here permanently. Well, that is the pot that I bought for that tree, so it's good that yeah, everybody thinks it suits. I think it suits. As soon as I saw it, I was pretty sure that it would suit. It just looked right. It's a little bit smaller than the pot it came out of, especially height-wise. But it looks like there's quite a bit of room in there for those roots to grow, so I'm not going to trim any roots back. I think it's quite fine the way it is. I even went and dug up a bit of moss I'll throw around on top just to try and make it look all pretty. The sphagnum moss that I've been using, like it works alright as a mulch, but it looks bloody awful. I'm still not sure how our mosses are going to grow like in the full summer heat. We'll see. Most people seem to be able to get mosses to grow, so we'll just have to see. Yeah, thanks Colin, it is a nice pot, I'm pretty happy with it. It was a bit of a guess size-wise, I guess that's the problem with buying stuff online, but I think it's turned out actually a nice size for it as well. I probably can. If I don't break my neck trying to climb through all the camera and everything. Where are we? I'll take some photos in daylight, I reckon, when it's back up on the bench. Chuck them up on Instagram and whatnot. It's got some pretty cool colours through the pot. A little bit of bluey green colour and stuff like that, so it does look pretty cool. Yeah, no, it is a good pot. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So my trees can look good enough to do justice to the pots. I sort of feel like a lot of my trees are just starting to get to the point where I would actually be happy to call them nice trees. I'm probably a little bit picky like that. I don't like to go saying that just any old tree in a pot is a bonsai tree. I do like to be able to look at it and feel like it justifies the term, sort of thing, if that makes sense. And I feel like that I've got a few trees that are starting to approach that. This one, I mean, it's not a great tree, it's an okay tree. I would like it if it was a little thicker in the trunk, and hopefully as I start to increase the foliage mass on these branches, that will happen. The foliage pads are just starting to sort of dense out a bit. They'll start to look really good, I reckon, in the next couple of months. If I let it grow again, trim it back again, I reckon it'll start to look really good. I may just pull that over a little bit, I reckon. I don't know if I'll pull these branches down anymore. They're sort of not too bad where they are. That doesn't look too bad. We'll throw a bit of moss around on it, try and make it look half pretty. And hopefully that'll spread a little bit. It does sort of complete the look of the tree, I know. Something I sort of haven't really worried about too much until now. Probably because I didn't really think much of my trees, I suppose. They were all had a lot of development to go. But I guess all of our trees are like that to a degree, aren't they? Always got things we want to do to them. Don't think I brought enough in to do the whole pot. Oh, maybe. Might go close. Probably not too bad like that. And I'll go and ruin it all by throwing a fertiliser bag on it. I'll throw that right. You should be able to see that alright. Sort of looks a bit odd there, but anyway. We need to, oh yeah, we use the other pot as a stand. There we go. So that'll probably do that tree for, I reckon, the next couple of years. It'll grow in that pot. Still not convinced about some of these, but anyway. like I've said before, the one thing I don't like about this branch is all this long straight section here. I'd love to cut it back to here somewhere and get it to reshoot here and put a bit of movement in that branch. Just looks a bit weird the way it is, but I'm not quite game to just cut everything off the end of it. But yeah, so that's the yeah, little tea tree. He'll go back up on the bench, in amongst all his mates. I've toyed around with the idea of oh, Luke Parsons. Yeah, he does good pots. I'd love to get a couple of pots off him too. Probably a little bit out of my price range right at the moment, but yeah, he does do really good pots. I've been toying around with the idea of potting this other fella up. The little Melaleuca. I did actually buy this pot to pot him in, but yeah, I don't know. The low pots are always going to be a pain while I've got that like cascading branch on there. So yeah, I don't know. For now, I think he can just stay the way he is and sort of just hang off the edge of the bench. I've got a couple of pots that may suit it. They're only cheap, shitty pots. But yeah, I don't know. I thought about throwing it in something like that. Give it a little bit of extra height, but it still doesn't have a huge amount of height. I don't know. Decisions. I don't really know. But it's only been, I think it's only been in this pot for 8 or 9 months. So it doesn't need to come out of that pot. It can probably stay in that pot for another, well, probably a year or so, really. Yeah, so I don't know. yeah, no, they are a bit of dollars, but if, you know, if bonsai is something that you're into for a long while, well, you'll get your value out of them. You know, they're pots that'll last forever, so long as you don't drop them or do anything stupid with them. And they look so much nicer than these cheap pots. I don't know why cheap pots look so bad. It's just got to be the solid colour glazes and stuff they use on them. I don't know. They just look cheap. They just look cheap and nasty. But yeah, I will add a couple, I would say, next year maybe. Gotta be careful what I commit to on camera. You never know who might be watching. But yeah, that's probably about all I'm going to do tonight. I don't have a huge amount of work that needs doing on anything. Just wanted to have a go at doing a live stream and see if there was much interest in it, and maybe I'll jump back on and do another one. I've got a few trees that need a bit of work coming up. My collected callistemon, it'll need a prune very soon. It's going nuts again. I think this rain really helps. It yeah, seems to make everything grow really well. Plus the fertilizer bags, I've only started using them recently. Better water is the better mix, that inorganic mix. So everything I do, like everything that I've changed over the last 12 months, just seems to be making everything go crazy, which is good. Yeah, very happy with all the stuff I've done. So yeah, unless anybody's got any questions or anything, we might just about wrap it up, I think. Freya, come here. 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 Randy. Come on, up, get up. Up. You're having a good sleep, aren't you? Come on. Every time I was doing this during the day, trying to just do test runs and stuff, she wanted to come up and be in the camera, so... But tonight you didn't want to, did you? Hmm? You didn't, did you? You just wanted to have a sleep. You had your dinner, you wanted to have a sleep. Oh, you can go back to bed now, if you want. Hmm? Alright, thanks everyone for tuning in and having a watch. And catch you on the next one, eh?